Hello everybody and welcome for a new video on Minecraft. This episode is on Superflat because I started a gameplay on Superflat. It will be a survival gameplay without any mods and without, of course, any hardcore, because I'm just not good enough to play as hardcore player. I will make this series with two cameras per perspectives, so we will have the first person and we will have some flying camera like that. So the first episode is entirely with that camera because I just found that so cool that I made an entire episode with that, and this second one might be with a big part of third person cameras. So I need to learn how to use this tool that is obviously, as you may have guessed, this is I don't have the name, so it's one of the most famous mods for that. It's a replay mod. So I just got some villages and I had some structures in that because I followed a tutorial by Moxswamp, I think, on Superflat how to have structures. So I have like nether portals, we have like even the end fortress, so we can just find the ender dragon under cities. So this hill is a little bit cheat, but it's a way to play Superflat. Minecraft and Mojang just know that it exists and they don't fix it, so it may be intentional feature. So this is the beginning of our base. We will make hexagon shapes and we will just completely dig out inside because I want to make a whole ocean around our base, but for that we need to dig up all the materials and we will make the base on surface. So the base will be just self-protected, it will be spawn-proofed and just completely open for villagers, so you will see that later in the episodes. We even have some nice views from the inside. I do really enjoy this mod, and we will have some dirt in the top of that, so it will be the dirt, dirt path to make completely spawn-proof lands, and we will have water in between the zones, so we will dig out all of that. I don't know how to conjugate all these verbs. And as you can see, there's a lot of slimes waiting up in the top of the world, so we can raid a little bit the village, fight some iron golems. I was close to say Iron Man, but it's not. We have some stone generator, very useful in this type of gameplay because the only way to get stone is by a stone generator. The only way to get iron is by fighting iron golems, and the only way to get diamond tools is by buying them to villagers. So yes, it's a nice point that you can buy them, because if you cannot, you will be stuck to iron tools. It will be very annoying. I started to plant the whole forest here because I need a lot of wood. I want my base to be a whole fortress. You can also enjoy the nice view from here. I cooked some stone into just stone blocks because it looks nicer than cobblestone, and then we can just check them out. We can just farm a little bit of wood because wood is useful in that gameplay. It's your only renewable block that is easy to obtain, because cobblestone it's a little bit annoying. I think you can duplicate TNT with some special made TNT dupers, but for that you need to have sand, and I don't think you can get sand at all in that type of gameplay, so we cannot have access to any TNT except in structures. We may find them, so if we find TNT we will be able to make a whole cobblestone generator that is automatical, self-sustainable. I don't know how you say that this works alone. We can have a little flyby here. It looks like a little drone shot. I do really enjoy drone shots, and I think I'm saying all the same expressions since the beginning of the episode, and it's not really great, so I will try to change. We have our bed here because I need to sleep sometimes, and I need a respawn point because as it's not a hardcore gameplay, we can respawn. So all of that is in one edit. I need to make some cuts in the next videos because it's a little bit boring. It's not boring because a lot of things happen, but it's a little bit boring that all of that is continuously following, even if it's very accelerated, and you cannot see that very well because the camera is very slow. So as you can see, our character is moving very fast. We can kill a lot of slimes here, but in fact it was moving at normal speed. It's just with the replaying mode that you can mess a little bit around with that. I replaced some dirt with stone here and not cobblestone because it's way more beautiful. I just dug out all of that and replaced all of that with stone, and we can place some slabs on top of the stone in front of that. Like this, it will be spawn proofed. In the bottom I put some stone because if I make an ocean I will need to see what's just beneath, so we need to see the stone and not a big hole. We killed some slimes to get some slime balls, and most importantly to spawn proof a little bit, to have less mobs on us, to be able to build that little more space. So we also have a camera, not a camera but a minimap mod, so that's really useful, and that looks really beautiful on minimap. So it will be very interesting to see at the end of the episode why I'm making those tiles instead of just building a city. It's because like this I can manage all the mobs around my base, and I can protect what's inside of it really easily. It's not like when you build something you need to spawn proof all at the same time. It's very difficult, but that's really easy with some design because you can just add tiles and say or spawn proofed from the beginnings, since the beginnings, so you don't have to worry about all the spawn problems. And then you can convert that once into more interesting things such as just farmlands, spawners, or anything else. I just put the wall a little bit higher here because our next height will be 1 block higher. Like this we have some depth in the terrain. We can also see what the golem is doing. This tile is a little bit more complicated to do as it will cost us more resources. We need to fulfill that with dirt, and dirt is very expensive in that type of gameplays, so you need to dig out inside of your base to get some dirt, and just beneath your base, I think it's beneath. So this will be the place for a stone generator, and in the middle of all we will place some mob generators that will work obviously way better than in normal games because you're in Superflat, and in Superflat it worked very well. So I built this cobblestone farm. It's from YouTube because I don't want it to waste a lot of time on that design, and this works very well. This is very efficient, and we can just stay AFK here. So we will need some droppers to just completely fill our hand with some pickaxe, but except that this is not a problem. There is no problem here. So we have some cobblestone so we can build the mob farm. So the mob farm is one of the oldest farms that I've ever seen in this game. I built this one, or my mother built this one, like it was like 5 years ago, more than that. We were on Minecraft 1.9 or something like that. It was not like 1.12, it was 1.8 maybe. I'm not a very old player, but I play since a lot of time. I don't know if this is correct, but I think it isn't. I'm using water to come back here because way easier than just building towers. It's way faster and you don't have to remove it. This is a very basic design, it's not beautiful at all. I will need to decorate that later, and I will need also to stop saying I will need, because I think this is not beautiful like a sentence, but it's the only one that came to my mind when I'm talking. So that's the problem, that's shade. We can build the stone roof and we can also stop saying we can. I'm not English, and you can know that just by listening to all my word problems, all my tics on language. So I completely spawn-proofed the roof here with some stone and some wood, because I had wood left over and I don't have any stone left. So we can see all the mobs spawning here, and then I can realize that I every time say the same expression. So I might change. What can I say instead of we can, and instead of all the tics that I have? If you have any idea, you can say it in comments, please. This farm is very efficient, but we also need a different type of farm, the one that produces vegetables. It's complicated word. We also need to move the water source to make all of that watered. So this is a wheat farm, nothing too complicated, nothing too difficult. And at the other side we will have some potato farm, I think. So after I will need to make carrot farm and beetroot farm. So that is the conclusion of this episode. So if you need to spawn proof something in Superflat, you need to do that tile by tile. It's way easier, except that I don't have anything to tell you after. Have a nice day.